So I've been having a great time at the cabin, just getting all these supplies in, building that decking like you saw in the last video, and there's a big stretch of rain out there in North Idaho. So I spent a good amount of time just getting lumber, getting it all the way back here to the river and floating it down to the beach. So I got a couple loads. This first one was a monster right here and too big to handle, frankly, but it was like 40 2x4s, 10 footers 2x4, and then some 2x6s as well. It's probably upwards of 800 pounds or something like that on this old little Walmart mattress. So it was a struggle to get down the river. But I did this and a few more loads, and hope you enjoy. So in this episode, I'm just getting lumber in there, fighting the rain, and exploring the property a little bit. So I've just been kind of lashing the rope to myself, and I hop in my raft and drag this thing down. It's been working pretty well. This one was so heavy, I overshot my landing zone, which is way up at the top of that beach, and couldn't get out of the main stream at the river. This load was so heavy. In the end, it started sweeping me down through that super quick, well, whatever, relatively quick current portion. I had to jump out. The raft was totally submerged and deflating under all the weight, and I just barely wrestled it into the end of my beach portion of the property there. But I got all these in. It's a bunch of 16 footers, a ton of lumber, so I'm able to stockpile this. It wasn't raining now, get it under the tarp, and keep things moving along. Yeah, I put together this wheelbarrow contraption with a couple clamps. These are the 16 footers, which was a horrible struggle, but all the 10 footers and 8 footers, lashing it up like this, I was actually able to cruise it down the beach through my trail, which is super bumpy and turny, and actually get this stuff on site pretty quick. Doing 3 lengths of lumber at a time versus carrying 2 on my shoulder, which was getting super sore by this point, was actually a pretty big advantage. And I was able to ship this stuff in from the beach onto the site pretty quick. So there it is. Did it. Got a ton of lumber in there. It's getting dark. So I threw that tarp on over, and we're expecting a ton of rain. And getting all that lumber in, this is actually a super good time because in the end I got enough lumber in there to frame all 4 walls and the loft. And I should also mention, walking around the property right now is excellent because everything is just dead to the ground. You can see this is May, like next month with all this rain, it's going to be lush and waist high in ferns and grass and things. So it was a breeze getting stuff in at this time of the year.
Alright, we're walking up from the overnighter rain thunderstorms. See what we get. Yeah, looks like the tarp stayed on, which is awesome. And all that water that would have been in my unfinished seams on the floor is on the tarp, so psyched about that. I brought out some elastometric caulking put in all the seams, and I got some Thompson's water seal just to hit the top, just because this is going to have to survive for God knows how long before we get this thing put together. But I do have this big tarp, which is going to come in pretty handy. Alright, let's get to it. This might be the first flower I've seen on the property, and I know it's morel season, so I'd be pretty curious if any of those are popping up around here. I'm super excited to get some of this stuff rolling to a place where I can stay up here and explore the property a little bit more. I've honestly only really been on the trails you see me walking all the time, so that's what I blazed, and just scouting the high ground, because this is a bit of an oxbow, and there's some wetlands back here to the east side of the build site. Not a crazy amount of high ground right next to the river, so super excited to explore that soon. Big tarp's coming in pretty clutch. I came here to caulk the seams in the OSB and weatherproof everything. And it just was supposed to be a cloudy day, but it's been sprinkling on and off like this. You can see it's, it's piling up pretty good. So just kind of doing some odd tasks with it covered up. Tomorrow should be sunny. Just kind of throwing some gravel down around a few of the piers. A couple little things. Hopefully tomorrow's a little sunnier, and we might even get around to framing a wall.
Please subscribe and follow along as I start getting walls up on this cabin and the thing really starts to take shape. See you in the next episode.